Let's talk now, though, about potholes, because potholes are the absolute bane of everybody's life. My own son's car got knackered by one the other day. He's now got a flat tyre thanks to a pothole that he hit down in Sussex. We've got now a story in The Sun this morning in which it basically says that it could take as many as 12 years to actually fix all of the potholes that we've got. Road to ruin is what it says. £17 billion to fix the potholes, according to a report by the Asphalt Industry Alliance. And wouldn't you expect us to get the Asphalt Industry Alliance on? Gary Schofield is here. Gary, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, the potholes in this country seem to go from bad to worse, and everybody that I speak to who travels around the world in various different guises, whether it's for holidays or for work, they tell me that all the roads in every other country that they go to are all better than ours. I don't understand why ours are so bad. Why is that?
You're absolutely right about the state of our roads at the moment, because when you look at the alarm survey which the Asphalt Industry Alliance have published today, we see that there's, as you quite rightly say, £17 billion required to put the roads back to a state from which we can maintain them.
Yeah.
What even more concerning for me is when you look at the statistics that 1 in 6 miles of road have less than 5 structural years remaining in them.
Right.
And that means that's 34,600 miles of road that if we don't do something seriously with them in the next 5 years, they'll be potentially undrivable.
Yeah, I mean, I think many of them now are. I mean, whenever I drive around now, London actually isn't as bad as it used to be, but certainly down in Sussex, where I tend to spend my time at the weekends, some of the potholes are absolutely prodigiously large, and you almost have to sort of have muscle memory in your brain to remember where they are, because if you drive around, you sort of know that some... But there's some, for example, in high streets that I go to, which go all the way across, so you can't even avoid them. You have to just go into them very, very slowly. And it's ridiculous. I mean, according to your report, it says roads in this country, on average, are resurfaced once every 93 years. That's ridiculous.
I think this is a reflection of the massive underfunding that we've had on the roads for decades. And coupled with that, it's not just the amount of money that's lacking, but it's the way that the funding is provided by the government, because the local authorities are faced with a situation where they get annualised budgets, so that they get spot budgets to spend on pothole repairs. And unfortunately, that doesn't allow the local authorities to plan the most effective way to look after the roads. So I'm very pleased to see that the DFT have written an article recently where they're pleading with the government to give a 5-year rolling budget. So that gives the local authorities a vision of what they're going to have to spend for the next 5 years, and therefore they can plan the most effective spending, and that is on preventative maintenance, not on repairing the potholes, because every time we repair potholes, it's like playing whack-a-mole. You know, you repair one over here and another one appears over there. We need to stop them forming in the first place to get back control.
Right. And how do you do that then? I mean, if you've got a scientific... I mean, I remember talking to somebody, I don't think it was you guys, but somebody who said they've actually now invented a sort of asphalt that grows. You know, I know that people make fun of me for my famous concrete scenario, but basically there is some scientific evidence that you can make asphalt actually repair potholes by growing and filling them, right?
I think the real crux to the matter is not we need to get off the subject of potholes and thinking about repairing potholes, because potholes are just a symptom. Once they've arisen, we've already had significant problems with the roads. So what we need to focus on is actually preventing the potholes forming in the first place and properly maintaining our roads. So that's the secret. Let's look at the proper preventative maintenance, which will stop them forming in the first place and give us much longer lifespans of our roads.
Okay, but scientifically speaking, can you actually stop potholes being made? Because one of my arguments is always that one of the reasons they're getting worse is because cars, particularly electric cars, are an awful lot heavier. Electric vans, which now deliver all sorts of stuff to homes around the country, electric buses, you know, they're all massively heavy. They must be taking a toll on the actual surface of the road, mustn't they?
The way the roads are designed means that cars and small vans really have very little impact on the roads in terms of the structure. It's really the Arctics, the big vehicles, which have the significant effects. And you're right, Traffic volumes are higher than have been predicted, etc. So there's definitely impacts on that. But the way forward is proper maintenance, because if we can rebuild the roads with something like a 60 to 80 year design life, but we need to maintain them, just like you build a good house,
Right.
you need to maintain your house. Otherwise, it'll just fall into disrepair.
Yeah, because if you don't fix the roof, eventually it'll fall in, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what's the actual breakdown, Gary? You may know this more than me. What's the actual breakdown of, what the local council is responsible for and what central government is responsible for?
Typically, through the country, on average, something like about 55%, I think it is, of the funding comes from government,
right,
and 45% comes from their local authorities' own making.
Right. So presumably, we can say with relative accuracy that the local authorities are probably not spending enough of the money that they should be spending because they're spending it on something else.
Well, I think that's a very good argument. I mean, it's I think one of the things that we're calling for from the government, first of all, is this 5-year rolling funding to give the local authorities plenty of vision.
Yeah.
But secondly, increasing the amount of funding that they're getting, and thirdly, ensuring that what funding is allocated is ring-fenced for roads, so that we can protect it and spend it where it's intended to be spent.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think I'm right in saying now that all insurance companies now will actually have a proper way of dealing with it. If you've gone into a pothole and you've damaged your axle, you've damaged your wheel, you've damaged your tyre, they will actually compensate you and refund the money that you've had to spend on it because of potholes. So it's actually affecting people's insurance now as well.
Oh, it's affected so much because, of course, any claims made against local authorities are taking money out of the what could be spent on actually mending the roads.
Yeah.
And so it's a vicious circle that just creates more and more problems.
Yeah, absolutely right. Listen, Gary, good to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed. Gary Schofield on the news, which is in the Sun this morning. The Asphalt Alliance, Industry Alliance, I should say, has estimated that it's going to be something like £17 billion to fix all the potholes in this country, and it's going to take 12 years. And it says here, right, this is unbelievable, that on average, roads are resurfaced in this country only once every 93 years. Amazing.